Hello, it's me from my channel. Welcome to our show about the real stories behind the greatest TV series of all time. Today we're going to be talking about The Sopranos, one of the most popular TV shows ever made. The Sopranos aired for 6 seasons between 1999 and 2007, and during that time, it won 21 Primetime Emmy Awards, 3 Golden Globe Awards, and 2 Screen Actors Guild Awards. Now, if you haven't watched The Sopranos, what are you waiting for? It's an amazing show, and is considered by many critics to be the greatest TV show ever made. But this isn't a review of the show. Instead, today we're going to be looking at some of the crazy real-life stories that inspired it. Now, in case you didn't know, The Sopranos is a crime drama that follows the lives of a New Jersey Italian-American mafia family whose criminal activities are starting to be threatened by the ever-encroaching FBI. So let's get into it. No one, Tony Soprano, was based off of a real mobster. David Chase, the creator of The Sopranos, has said that the character of Tony Soprano was loosely based on a real-life mobster named Anthony Imparato. Imparato was a capo regime in the Genovese crime family who earned the nickname Tough Tony for his alleged involvement in several murders. In fact, he got the nickname because of what he did to one of his fellow mobsters. See, he tortured one of his fellow mobsters, Anthony Centauro, by pouring hot wax down his throat until he choked to death. Also, Imparato had ties to a company called Brink's Armored Truck Company, which was robbed in 1983 for $7 million. This inspired the armored truck scene in the show. So yeah, it seems like Chase used Imparato as the main inspiration for Tony Soprano. Speaking of Tony Soprano, Christopher Moltisanti was based off of a real mobster too. Christopher Moltisanti is one of the most beloved characters on The Sopranos. He's funny, he's smart, but he's also a bit of a loser. Moltisanti was inspired by a real-life mobster named Christopher Caffaro. Caffaro was a capo in the Lucchese crime family who was known for being a bit of a loose cannon. For example, in 1990, he was arrested for trying to hire a hitman to kill a rival mobster. He was also arrested in 1993 for racketeering and extortion. However, unlike Moltisanti, Caffaro was never arrested for drug dealing. But still, it seems like Chase saw enough similarities between the two men to use him as inspiration for the character. 3. The FBI surveillance technology depicted on the show is actually pretty accurate. In the show, the FBI is always one step behind the mob, but they're closing in. They have bugs everywhere, and they're watching every move the mob makes. This may seem like just another TV trope, but it's actually pretty accurate. In the real world, the FBI has a number of different ways to spy on people. They can put bugs in phones, cars, and even homes. They can also tap phones and track cell phone signals. And believe it or not, they can even hack into computers. There have been a number of cases over the years where the FBI has used these types of methods to spy on mobsters. So when you're watching The Sopranos, just remember that what you're seeing on TV is probably pretty close to what the FBI is capable of doing in real life. 4. The show features several real-life mobsters. In addition to the actors who played Tony, Chris, and the rest of the gang, The Sopranos also features several real-life mobsters in small roles. For example, Frank Vincent played the role of Billy Batts, a mobster who's whacked in the first season. Vincent was a captain in the Genovese crime family and a close friend of Anthony Imparato, who again was the inspiration for Tony Soprano. Another real-life mobster who appeared on the show was Paul Sorvino, who played the role of Phil Letterdo. Sorvino was a capo in the Colombo crime family and one of the most powerful mobsters in the country. He was also a former acting boss of the family and a member of the family's ruling panel, the Commission. 5. One of the show's writers was a former mobster. If you thought the dialogue and storylines on The Sopranos were realistic, it's because one of the show's writers was a former mobster. His name is Terrence Winter, and he's the reason why The Sopranos is so popular. You see, Winter was a member of the Genovese crime family before becoming a writer for the show. He's the reason why the dialogue sounds so realistic and the storylines are so compelling. Without Winter's help, The Sopranos wouldn't be the same. 6. The show was filmed in real-life mobster locations. When you watch The Sopranos, you might not realize that many of the scenes were filmed in real-life mobster locations. Your example. The exterior of Tony Soprano's house is the same house that was used as the front for a money laundering operation run by the Genovese crime family. And the interior of the restaurant where the guys hang out was actually a real-life mob hangout. These are just 2 examples. There are actually many more. The show's creators wanted to make the show as realistic as possible, and what better way to do that than to film it in real-life mob locations? 7. A real-life mobster tried to get Tony Sirico arrested. In the show, Tony Sirico plays Paulie Walnuts Galtieri, one of Tony Soprano's closest friends and fellow mobsters. But what many people don't realize is that a real-life mobster tried to get Tony Sirico arrested while filming the show. You see, the actor was so good at playing Paulie that the FBI thought he was the real deal. They even sent an agent to talk to him and try to get him to cooperate. Thankfully, Tony Sirico was able to convince the FBI that he was just an actor. But it was a close call. 8. The show helped to revive interest in organized crime. When The Sopranos first aired, organized crime was at its lowest point in popularity. But the show changed all of that. It brought in a whole new generation of fans and made mobsters cool again. In fact, there's been a huge spike in organized crime activity since the show ended. The show's creators didn't set out to do this, but it's the truth. 9. The show inspired a real-life hit. In 2002, a hit was taken out on a man named Joseph Merlino. Merlino was a Philadelphia mobster who was a capo in the Gambino crime family. He was also a member of the family's ruling panel, the Commission. But in the early 2000s, Merlino was cooperating with the government and had become a key witness in a number of high-profile mob cases. This made him a target, and The Sopranos gave mobsters the inspiration they needed to take him out. The hit was never carried out, but it shows just how dangerous things can get in the world of organized crime. And finally, 10. The show's creator was inspired by his own father. Many people don't realize this, but the show's creator, David Chase, was inspired by his own father. You see, Chase's father was a mobster who was involved in a number of illegal activities. He was also a violent man who was known for beating up his wife and children. So when Chase was growing up, he wanted to be nothing like his father, became a writer and moved to Hollywood. But as he got older, he started to understand his father better. He realized that his father wasn't all bad. He was actually a very successful businessman and a loving husband and father. This inspired Chase to create The Sopranos. He wanted to tell the story of a mobster who was trying to balance his criminal life with his family life. Well, that's all we have for today. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay safe.